Now on Fast Track News, university residences are seeing a huge pushback from students over the housing lottery in light of the ongoing housing crisis.
Plus, Governor Holcomb recently appointed the Eli Lilly CEO, David A. Ricks, to the Purdue Board of Trustees.
Also, Purdue volleyball is set to take on IU and Mackey for the first volleyball game of the season in the arena. All your campus news, weather, and sports is straight ahead. Fast Track is back. Happy Friday, Boilermakers. I'm Cole Sand.
And I'm Alex Kirkove. It's October 18th, and here's a look at your campus news for the week. First, Purdue University Residences has implemented a new process for students to reapply for housing in the 2025-2026 academic year. According to a news release, the reapplication process was revised based on input from student representatives and will now be a lottery. Our Fast Track reporter, Becca Schumann, has the story.
Purdue Housing has changed the reapplication process for the upcoming school year. This means students will not have a guarantee that they will receive housing for the year. I spoke with Purdue's Vice Provost for Student Life, Beth McCuskey, to get insight on how Purdue chose to implement this new lottery system. When I asked Beth how Purdue used student feedback to implement the new process, she said that they selected 40 student representatives and used data from many students that was gathered last year after the conclusion of the housing process. When asked about a petition started by a student to reverse the lottery housing process, Beth mentioned that not all students will support change. She also highlighted that she received an email from a student thanking Purdue for making this change after years of struggling with housing. When asked why the lottery system was chosen as the most effective reapplication process, Beth said that this system was weighed against many other options and was determined to be the most fair to ensure that the students that do get selected for the lottery will end up with housing. For students who want to live with specific roommates, Beth said that there will be statistical measures to make sure that roommates are treated as one group instead of separate people to ensure that they all receive the same lottery outcome. When asked how Purdue will accommodate for students with disabilities, Beth said that first-year students with disabilities will still be guaranteed housing. However, Purdue has never guaranteed housing for returning students. So disabled students still have the opportunity to apply for the lottery, and if they do receive housing, they will still be given accommodations. Reporting for Fast Track News, I'm Becca Schumann.
Students who are not selected from the lottery have the opportunity to join a wait list in January. Contracts have also been moved from the February deadline to the November 11th for upper-level returning students and December 3rd for current first-year students.
And University Residences states in a note that there is no fee to enter the housing lottery. Students with disabilities in need of accommodated housing are still expected to opt in for the lottery. For further questions, you can visit the reapplication page on the University Residences website. The lottery is now open but closes October 22nd at 5 p.m.
You know, there's a bit of a chill in the air this week, Alex, and even I had to bring out the winter coat out of my closet.
Yeah, it's definitely been a chilly week, Cole, and we're going to see if there are colder temperatures that are here to stay. Meteorologist Delaney Bowles is here with the first look at our forecast.
Happy Friday, Boilermakers, and I must say a happy fall as well. We've definitely been seeing those fall stereotypical temperatures throughout the past week, with highs only in the mid to upper 50s. We are going to see a bit of a warm up in those temperatures today with a high of 70 degrees and a little bit of a warmer low of 38 as we just had our first freeze Wednesday night. We're going to stick with these dry conditions we've been having as that sunshine persists for us with winds of only about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So it's definitely going to be a pleasant day today. Some key weather points I'd like to go over with you all today. As I said, higher temperatures today, and that's going to last us into the weekend and into next week as well, bringing us highs in the low to mid 70s. And with this, we're going to continue to see those dry and calm weather conditions as well. This being said, though, don't be fooled. Although we are seeing these warmer temperatures into next week, the Weather Channel has reminded us that these cold temperatures are on their way as we're nearing the end of October, and they just announced their 2024-2025 winter storm names.
Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb has named David A. Ricks, chair and CEO of Eli Lilly and Company, to the Purdue University Board of Trustees. As CEO of Eli Lilly, Ricks has overseen record-breaking research and development, driving innovation in medicines that have expanded the company's reach and impact on human health. The Purdue alum is supporting the health innovation ecosystem and prioritizes local communities. Ricks will take over on January 1st, 2025, following the retirement of current board chair Michael Berghoff. His term will run through July 2027.
Purdue University and e.l.f. Cosmetics are teaming up to inspire the next generation of women in STEM. Their collaboration, called In Our STEM Era, will take place in downtown Indianapolis during the Taylor Swift concert weekend. Purdue's pop-up makeup space will offer hands-on activities for girls, like creating friendship bracelets with binary code and designing digital photo backgrounds for social media. There will also be makeup touch-up courtesy of e.l.f. Cosmetics. Organizers hope this collaboration will spark excitement for STEM careers and encourage young girls to see themselves as future engineers, scientists, and innovators at Purdue. The pop-up will be located near the Georgia Street entrance to Circle Center Mall. You can stop by the event on Saturday, November 2nd from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. or Sunday, November 3rd from noon to 5. For more information on the collaboration and pop-up, visit www.purdue.edu/events/InOurSTEMEra.
This past Saturday, October 12th, you may have noticed a chunk of State and Vine Street were closed off, and that's because the annual Starry Night Festival was this past weekend. The festival draws thousands of people each year and features live music, a variety of merchants, and various creative activities. It is free to the public and seeks to promote awareness of Isaiah 117 House, which provides care for children awaiting foster placements. The night is hosted by Purdue Christian Campus House and Gray House Coffee. But if you missed it this year, be sure to keep an eye out next October for a lively night under the stars.
Coming up, we have our first installment of Fast Track Tries. Stick around to see what we try. That's up next.
Three, two, one.
One of our very own reporters recently took on the challenge of learning baton twirling from Purdue University's Golden Girl and Girl in Black.
It's not every day you get to train with two of Purdue's top performers. Our reporter Lily Tordell takes us through her experience learning baton twirling.
Thanks, Alex. I'm out here by the co-rec with Katie and Emily, and they're about to show me a couple of tricks that they use for their performances with the All-American Marching Band. I'm about to learn these tricks for the first installment of Fast Track Tries.
Hi, my name is Katie Harris, and I am the girl in black. Hi, my name is Emily Cowett, and I am the 32nd Golden Girl. I'm going to be teaching Lily how to do a flat toss.
Okay, so for our flat toss, we're going to start in the center of the baton and hold it straight up, straight arm. We're going to turn our hand so our palm is facing the sky, release, and catch with our right hand.
The trick that I'll be teaching Lily today is called an elbow roll. Okay, for an elbow roll, you should start by holding the baton like 3/4 of the way over and loop under your arm and under your elbow and then up and over and catch it on the other side. And it helps if you hit this hand right like on your collarbone and keep a flat surface right here so that the baton has somewhere to roll over.
Thanks so much, you guys, for having me. I'm really happy I tried that for Fast Track Tries. Reporting for Fast Track News, I'm Lily Tordell.
Great job, Lily. You know, it's not easy learning those tricks from two of Purdue's best.
Definitely not. Those baton skills take some serious practice. And if you're a part of a club organization or have a unique skill you want us to take on, let us know what Fast Track should try next. Speaking of organizations, Purdue Musical Organization's annual Christmas show tickets are now available to purchase. Donors for PMO were able to buy tickets in July, so seats could fill up fast. There are 3 shows this year to spread the Christmas cheer. 2 shows on Saturday and 1 show on Sunday. And a reminder to all students, you can have a discount on tickets if you purchase them online or at Purdue Elliott Hall of Music box office, located at the Stewart Center with your Purdue ID. This will be the 91st year of the PMO Christmas show, and if you have not been, it's 2 hours filled with singing, dancing, and maybe some peers you might even recognize from class.
Coming up, we have calm conditions going into this weekend and lasting us through next week. This will be bringing us warmer weather conditions, and I'll have that all covered coming up in my full forecast. Stay tuned.
We're loud, we're fast, we are running a high-speed game.
Hello, this is hurling.
This is the fastest game in the world. It's the fastest game on grass in the world.
The club's been around for almost 20 years now.
Yeah, we're your 2024 NCGA National Champions.
You're watching Fast Track News.
If you're just now joining us, welcome and happy Friday. We're seeing a high of 69 degrees today in Lafayette, and we can see a lot of these warmer temperatures throughout the Midwest, gradually warming up the further west we go, until we hit that point where we have a cold front actually moving its way down through the western part of the United States, bringing us temperatures as cold as even 34 degrees in the upper northwestern corner of Wyoming. Now, we have our first Friday night football game tonight against Oregon. At our 8 p.m. kickoff, it'll be around 58 degrees, and that temperature is going to continue to drop throughout the night, around 55 degrees at halftime and 49 degrees after the game. So if you plan on getting out to support your Boilermakers tonight, definitely make sure to bring a jacket. But the good news is we don't have any chance for rain, so it should be calm conditions and provide us with a perfect fall night for a football game. Now going into our weekend outlook, like I said, high of 69 degrees today on Friday and pure sunshine. Now that sunshine is going to segue in to the rest of the weekend, leaving with a high of 72 degrees on Saturday and even 74 degrees on Sunday. Now do keep in mind, although we are experiencing these warmer temperatures throughout the daytime, our lows are going to remain in the lower 40s. So if you have any weekend plans in the evening, going to a haunted house with friends, whatnot, definitely make sure to plan accordingly. Now, for my future cast covering Saturday through Monday, we can definitely, if you look here, see an upper level ridge moving its way through the Ohio Valley region, leaving us with these high pressure zones. And these high pressure zones are going to result in these clear conditions that we're seeing through next week. And that's going to give us our sunshine. And it's also going to leave us to continue on with these dry and calm conditions as well. Now, Although we're getting used to these warmer temperatures, we are nearing the end of October, so that's important to keep in mind because these cold temperatures are going to be here before we know it. And the Weather Channel has reminded us of this as they've just announced their 2024-2025 winter storm names. And they are as follows. These storms can occur anytime between the end of October and through February. Peak time typically being between January and February, but what does this mean for you? If you're from out of state or you have a hefty drive back home and you don't have your winter gear yet, definitely make sure to make a plan to get that here because these cold temperatures are going to arrive before we know it. Now, although I say that, we need to go ahead and take advantage of the warm temperatures that we have so far and just savor them while they're here. So like I said, this is going to be our 7-day outlook. Sunday, we're seeing that high of 74 degrees, low of 44, but pure sunshine, and that's going to be a pattern throughout the week. Monday, we're getting up to even 76 degrees, a low of 49. Again, that sunshine remains. Tuesday, 74 degrees with some cloudiness. Wednesday, pure sun with some windiness. Again, high of 73 degrees. Thursday, we have some partly cloudiness, a bit cooler of a high at 68 degrees. Again, those lows are staying in the 40s. And then Friday, we have a bit of a chance of some scattered showers in the morning hours, and then that's supposed to move its way out throughout the rest of the day, leaving us with a beautiful day. And then Saturday, another high in the 70s, 70 degrees and partly cloudy. Again, do keep in mind, our lows are getting chilly and it's remaining at that fall weather, so definitely make sure to plan to prepare to bring some extra layers.
Just ahead, Purdue football took ranked Illinois into overtime. The Boilermakers volleyball team had a close battle against number 2 ranked Nebraska, and we look at Zach Edey's first NBA action in the preseason. I'm Kyla McElroy. Don't go away, sports is next. The Purdue football team was on the road once again last Saturday, this time taking on a rival in Illinois. Purdue would be without starting quarterback Hudson Card, and they would go on redshirt freshman Ryan Brown. The game started off poorly for Purdue as they would fall to a 27-3 deficit in the third quarter. After that, Purdue would flip a switch and Ryan Brown found Jamal Edrine for a long touchdown. Purdue would follow that up with a fumble recovery for a touchdown by Will Held. Another field goal by Spencer Porath would make the score 27-20, Illinois heading into the fourth quarter. The final quarter would go back and forth, but Illinois looked to have put the game away after a touchdown put them up 12 points with 5 minutes to go. But Purdue would score a quick touchdown with Devin Mockabee. The Boilers then recovered the onside kick and then scored another touchdown as Ryan Brown found Devin Mockabee to give Purdue a 41-40 lead. After a successful 2-point conversion, Purdue led by 3. Unfortunately, the Boilers' defense was not able to hold as Illinois kicked a game-tying field goal to send the game into overtime. In overtime, Illinois would score on their first play to take the lead. After Purdue scored to answer, they would go on for 2 for the win. Unfortunately, Ryan Brown would be sacked, and Illinois would hang on to a win 50-49. It was a good fight for the Boilermakers, but they came up short despite an excellent game from Ryan Brown. The Boilermakers looked to bounce back from their 5-game losing streak as they welcomed the number 2 ranked Oregon Ducks to Ross-Ade. The Boilermakers named Ryan Brown the starter after his wonderful performance last week as he threw 297 yards and ran for 118 yards. Oregon is coming off its biggest win of the season as they knocked off Ohio State last weekend. The Ducks feature a ferocious passing attack led by star quarterback Dylan Gabriel. This game will take place under the lights at 8 p.m. tonight. The Boilers will be donning all-new black uniforms. With the players wearing all black, the fans have been advised to black out the stadium. With the impending blackout, we know Ross-Ade will be rocking tonight. Purdue volleyball lost a hard-fought 5-setter at Nebraska last weekend. The Boilermakers went back and forth with the second-best team in the nation all night. There were 40 ties throughout the match, and each set was decided by 3 points or less. The Boilermakers were up 15-14 in the final set. They needed just 1 point to beat Nebraska, but ultimately lost after the Huskers went on a 3-0 run. Purdue's main weakness in the match was the serve, with the team giving up 19 serve errors. But there were plenty of bright spots for the Boilers. Eva Hudson had a season-high 26 kills and 15 digs. Chloe Chacoin added a season-high 22 kills and 13 digs, and Raven Colvin led the match with 11 blocks. Less than 24 hours after Nebraska, Purdue volleyball bounced back with a 3-1 win at Iowa. The team corrected their serving woes with 10 service aces. Setter Taylor Anderson led the way with 42 assists and a career-high 6 kills in the match. Eva Hudson added a team-high 18 kills, and Allie Hornung led the match with 17 digs. Handling business again, the Hawkeyes gave the Boilermakers their 4th conference win of the season. After taking on UCLA last night, Purdue volleyball plays IU in the Monon Spike match at home tomorrow night. The Boilermakers hope to reclaim the Monon Spike Trophy with the win over the Hoosiers. Before Indiana's win over Purdue last season, Purdue volleyball retained the rivalry trophy for 15 years, with a streak of Spike wins starting in 2007. Purdue has 36-13 record in Monon Spike matches all time. The match will be the Boilermakers' first appearance in Mackey Arena this season. The team has sold out tickets for the rivalry game at Mackey despite playing most home games in a smaller Holloway gym. Resale tickets are available throughout SeatGeek on PurdueSports.com. Purdue men's basketball stays dominant even in the preseason as Top 25 early poll has the Boilers at number 14. The team looks to prove that they should be as high as familiar opponent UConn, which is at number 3. The AP preseason Top 25 poll finally came out with the Boilers lower than most fans probably expected. The loss of Zach Edey puts a dent in the voters' belief in the program. The men's basketball team has a difficult road ahead of them with an array of top 25 teams already on their schedule, including our first exhibition against number 15 Creighton coming up at the end of this month, and a battle with the number 2 team Alabama in early November. And most notable game against our rival IU, who sits at number 17. Unlike last year, where Purdue was ranked 3rd in the preseason poll, the Boilers will need to continue to prove their dominance at the top of the top 25, even without National Player of the Year Zach Edey. Former Boilermaker legend Zach Edey has been getting ready in the preseason for his NBA debut with the Memphis Grizzlies, and he's starting to look like the Zach Edey that we all know and love again. Edey has played in 4 preseason games so far, with his most recent being a return to Indiana against the Pacers this Monday. In only 19 minutes of play, Edey was able to score 23 points, shooting 67% from the field. He was also 1 rebound shy from achieving a double-double. Over the course of his preseason games, Edey has averaged 13.5 points, 7.25 rebounds, and 1.25 assists and blocks. The Memphis Grizzlies have 1 more preseason game before Edey will make his NBA regular season debut next week on October 23rd against the Utah Jazz. Purdue soccer traveled to Bloomington to take on a struggling Indiana team last Thursday. The first half was not eventful as neither team were able to get a clear chance on target. However, things heated up in the second half. Indiana looked like they were certain to score with 4 minutes remaining, but Purdue goalkeeper Emily Edwards made an incredible save to keep the game. There were also 4 video reviews in the second half, including one in the dying moments that would have given Purdue a penalty kick, but the call was overturned and the game ended 0-0. The Boilermakers had to quickly reset to face number 8 ranked Ohio State at home on Sunday. The game started well for Purdue, but Ohio State scored a counterattack against the run of play and then quickly added another to make the score 2-0. The 2 teams then traded goals to make the halftime score 3-2 in favor of the Buckeyes. Ohio State opened the second half with another goal and never looked back, returning back to the game for 4-2. Purdue will finish their schedule in Michigan, facing both Michigan State and Michigan. Purdue women's basketball has a new name for their student fan base, called the KG Unit, that is ready to fill Mackey this winter. Fast Track sports reporter Denton Otero has the inside scoop on the new student section.
head coach Katie Geralds have a new fan club dubbed the KG Unit. If you have not heard of the KG Unit, you will be wanting to join them most definitely. I spoke with the founder of the KG Unit, Rebecca, about how this idea for a new student section at Purdue came to life.
We're kind of seeing, women's sports really take off, and, not just seeing it as, seeing them as professionals, but seeing them as a league that can be equal to men. I've always been a big fan of women's sports, and, when I came to college, I wanted to try and, support different women's teams.
Rebecca found the inspiration to begin the KG Unit 2 years ago during her sophomore year, during Coach Gerald's second year at the head of the program. The KG Unit, along with the Boiler Ultras for women's soccer and the Walk-Off Squad for the baseball team, are all newer student sections that are gaining an abundance of members and still growing to this day.
I'd say we probably had maybe 20 to 30 people that would kind of come to games consistently. And then last year we had, I want to say, just over 100 registered members.
The KG Unit is relatively new, but features a similar following compared to the previous head coach's student section. With COVID-19 being a big problem, it allowed for Rebecca and a few other students with a passion for Purdue women's sports to step in during a rebuilding era.
I have a couple close friends who would have been coming to the games with me, so they kind of helped me to get it off the ground where, we're still trying to figure out how we wanted to do it and everything, but I don't know. I'd say it was a team effort.
With the rise in women's college basketball, especially in the Big Ten now, with the additions of women's powerhouses such as USC with Juju Watkins, the attention on women's basketball is finally catching up to Purdue. The KG Unit aims to show these Lady Hoopers in a brighter light. The KG Unit is still looking for members. If you want to come to Mackey Arena and cheer on your Lady Boilermakers, you can come do that, first game being October 29th against Indiana Tech. Reporting for Fast Track Sports, I'm Denton Otero.
That's a wrap for sports, but stay tuned. Fast Track will be right back after this quick timeout.
What does it take to be a Purdue tour guide? You've got to know your history. You have to know your facts. You've got to have that Purdue spirit. And you have to walk backwards.
Alex, it is cold this week, and I didn't wear a jacket on Monday, and I regretted that, and I did not make that decision for the rest of the week. I bundled up.
I definitely started wearing my winter coat, and because of that, we decided to ask for our question of the week, at what temperature do you start wearing your winter coat? So we went out and asked some campus students.
I guess it also depends on the wind, but anything below 40 degrees, I'm breaking the coat out.
Probably right now, which is 55 something. Yeah.
Okay, 55 degrees?
Yes.
Usually around 35. I'm pretty comfortable with the cold. I'm from California, so it's warm there, but my grandparents are from Indiana, so I've had a lot of time in the cold. So.
We're wearing a winter coat at 50 degrees.
Yeah, today it was 39 this morning, and I would say this is kind of a winter coat, so a little below 40, but that's mostly just because if I wore it at higher, I think people would make fun of me. So
yeah, I get scared.
Yeah.
Usually about 42 or below. I want it to be significantly cold because I run really hot, so normally I can usually get away with a sweater at 48, 46. So yeah.
Man, it's great to see my home state of California representing here at Purdue, and we're tougher than you think. But for me, it was definitely a bit of a weather adjustment coming to the Midwest.
Definitely, for sure. And let's check back with Delaney for our final look at the weather.
All right, let's do a little recap here. Like I was saying, we're definitely seeing warmer temperatures going into this weekend and lasting us through next week. So here's that full weather 7-day forecast Sunday, we're going to see a high of 74 degrees, low of 44, pure sunshine. High of 76 degrees here on Monday, low of 49. Tuesday, partly cloudiness, but still staying in those 70s. And again on Wednesday, we have another 70-degree high day at 73 degrees and pure sunshine. We get a bit cooler with our high on Thursday at 68 degrees, partly cloudy. And then Friday is really our only day where we have any iffiness on the weather. But the good news is we only have some chances of rain in the morning hours, so those should move their way out, leaving us with a beautiful day Friday going into Saturday. Saturday, high 70 degrees as well. But again, keep in mind, these lows are pretty chilly, so do plan accordingly. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a good weekend, Boilers.
Hey, Boilermakers, have you stopped by the farmer's market yet? It's not too late to grab some pumpkins or cider as it gets cooler and starts to feel more like fall. Check out our Instagram for more Purdue news, weather, sports, and event coverage, just like this post right here. If you have a story idea or want to be featured, let us know in the comments or DM us on Instagram at Purdue Fast Track News. We would love to connect and share your stories. Have a great weekend and boiler up.
Thanks for tuning in this week.
And be sure to check back next Friday for all your campus news, weather, and sports.
Have a great weekend, Boilermakers.